Many Corvette prospects know a lot about the product before they come in for a first-hand look. That means you have to know the specifics about Corvette features. So let's go to space for the details on Corvette's safety, performance, appearance, comfort and convenience, and easy-to-own features.
For 1994, the Corvette has dual airbags. We've had a single airbag, the driver's side airbag, for a number of years now, and this year, due to customer demand and in the interest of safety, we've got dual airbags.
One of the most difficult braking situations that a driver has to face is when two of the tires are on its very slippery surface and two of the tires are on a dry surface, because it's very difficult to keep control of the vehicle in that situation. We performed a test on the edge of a skid pad that simulates the properties of glare ice. At the same 35 miles an hour without the benefits of ABS, you can see how difficult it is to maintain any sort of control while bringing the vehicle to a stop.
You'll notice on Corvettes that the door sill is pretty substantial, and we didn't do that just to make it difficult for you to get in and out of the car. It has a couple benefits for you. It, in conjunction with a side guard door beam, helps in the event of a side impact.
With a powerful sports car like the Corvette, just getting going in icy conditions can be difficult because with that much power, the rear tires tend to spin so easily. To demonstrate the benefits of ASR on the Corvette, we turned the system off and then floored the car on this very slippery skid pad. With the ASR turned back on, we floored the car again, and it's easy to see how the system helped the driver maintain control of the car.
ASR is something you can't get on a 300ZX.
This year, the LT1 has got several improvements to it. First of all, it's got sequential fuel injection, which gives a more precise fuel delivery to each cylinder as opposed to just dumping fuel in the intake manifold and expecting it to find a home. The second thing it's got is a mass airflow sensor as opposed to speed density, which probably doesn't mean anything to you, but what it ends up meaning is that it more accurately monitors the air coming into the engine and therefore can give you a more precise mixture also. The last change to the LT1 is a more powerful ignition system which helps on cold drivability, most notably in cold starting, and it's probably just about the best cold starting engine in the industry now.
Unlike the Corvette, the Nissan 300ZX has a turbocharged V6. As with all turbocharged engines, there's a certain amount of turbo lag. For a few select customers, there's the Corvette ZR1. Its LT5 engine provides a total of 405 horsepower through the use of 4 valves per cylinder and 4 overhead cams. That's 105 horsepower more than the Corvette LT1.
Corvette has extensive use of aluminum throughout the car. What this means to the customer is less weight, and less weight means better performance, mainly better fuel economy, et cetera, et cetera.
With automatic transmission-equipped Corvettes, a 307 axle ratio is available. With the optional 307 axle ratio, the engine RPM will be running at a higher speed than it does with the standard axle. With this axle ratio, you do get better performance off the line, but you will give up some fuel economy.
In 1994, the Corvette, as several other vehicles in General Motors, got a new 4-speed transmission, a 4L60E, the E standing for electronics. What the electronics do is allow that transmission to be very flexible and very tunable to each application. So you'll see that the same transmission is used in a Caprice, but it's not the same transmission. It's tunable, more tunable to the Corvette's specific needs.
The electronic selective ride control for 1994 has been recalibrated. In almost all driving situations, you'll find that the tour position is very adequate. But in those situations where you feel like the car needs more control, just turn the dial up to Sport or Performance and the additional control will be felt immediately.
Nearly all of Corvette's body panels are produced from SMC, or sheet molded compound. This composite material won't rust and it resists dents, so it adds to Corvette's long-term appearance and value. When you combine that with a stainless steel exhaust system and extensive use of aluminum suspension components, you've got an overall package that is exceptionally corrosion resistant.
There's a whole new interior for the Corvette this year. There's new carpeting, new door trim panels, new seats, a new steering wheel, and a new look for the IP and console. One of the new features for the 1994 Chevrolet Corvette is the storage areas for the passenger and the driver's side doors.
Corvette Coupe is actually a Targa car, and what that means is it has a removable roof panel. With 4 bolts, removing 4 bolts, the panel lifts off stores behind the two seats and allows the open car feel in a coupe. The Corvette has new seats, both the base seat and the up-level sports seat. The main reason for the new seats is improved entry egress, allowing the driver and passenger to get in and out of the vehicle easier.
All 1994 Corvette convertibles have a standard rear-winded defogger.
The express down feature on the driver's side is simply where you just hit the button, the window will go down by itself, and we can keep your hands on the wheel more.
The ride quality on Corvettes is better this year. We've been able to lower the tire pressure on coupes from 35 to 30, which improves the ride quality and really doesn't affect the handling. In addition, the selective ride control, or FX3 cars, we have lowered the spring rate, and in addition, we have recalibrated the shocks. So that's a very nice ride on the FX3 models.
New this year is the extended mobility tire option. The extended mobility tire allows you to drive at up to 55 miles per hour for 200 miles on a tire that has absolutely no air in it. At $70, the EMT tires are a great value. They work so well that we also require that you purchase the low tire pressure warning system for $325 because, quite frankly, otherwise you wouldn't know that you had a flat. Corvette owners are rightfully concerned about the security of their vehicle. Passkey 2 has helped to reduce the theft rate of Corvette considerably. If the car doesn't recognize the resistance value of the pellet in this key, all of the major engine electricals are disabled and the car won't start.
This is your driver's information center here. It tells you when your ABS is active or your ASR is active. Basically, what it does for you is monitor the car's functions.
There are two things you need to know about passive keyless entry, or PKE, besides the fact that it locks the doors and arms the alarm system when you walk away from the car and unlocks the doors when you approach the car. First, PKE will not allow you to accidentally lock your car with the keys in the ignition. Secondly, if you should lock the keys in the car but out of the ignition, you simply need to shake the car so that the PKE senses motion. This will cause it to send a signal to unlock the doors.
The Corvette offers excellent fuel economy for the particular vehicle that it is. Compared to its other high sport competitors, the fuel economy is as good, or I've seen many road reports where it's actually better than what the competition is offering.
Just like all the other Chevrolet products on the line right now, Corvette does have a stainless steel exhaust system, something that 300ZX does not have.
Corvette customers demand a high level of service. With a 36-month, 36,000-mile warranty, 24-hour roadside assistance, courtesy transportation at participating dealers, and the courtesy key mailed to them shortly after they take delivery of the vehicle, we feel that we meet, if not exceed, their expectations.
Sometimes salespeople might hesitate to offer leasing as an option to prospects. But when it comes to Corvette prospects, leasing may be the perfect fit.
Very simply, you sit down and show them a comparison, a buy versus a lease, explain that in a lease, GMAC or whatever the leasing entity is the one taking the risk in the car. The leases today are designed completely different from the way they used to be. Today, a vehicle is set up with what they call a guaranteed future value. They're saying that in X number of years with the proper mileage on this vehicle, we guarantee it's going to be worth this much money. If it's not worth that much money, then the leasing company is the one that takes the hit, not the individual that leased the car. Conversely, if it's worth more than that, then the person can buy the vehicle, trade it in, whatever he wants to do, and gain that equity or positive cash flow from the lease. Traditionally in the past, to sell a car, you end up working the front end of the deal, we'll call it, down to very slim margin, because when you're looking at payments, especially on extended term, the interest rates are always higher for an extended term. So it ends up the back end, or the bank is the one making all the money. On a lease, again, you simply work it into a payment comfort range for the individual. There's really not much back end money there to be made. It all goes into the front end. It's protected. There are no chargebacks as far as the finance end is concerned as well. So you've got the customer in a vehicle in a payment he can afford. He can get out of it in a short term of time. You're making more money than you would have selling him the vehicle originally.